Hi folks, Lewy and Keandri here from Hordie.
Hi.
We're going to try something a little bit different today. Something that we haven't ever done before.
Nope, never.
Ever. We are going to attempt to do a hopefully quick little movie review.
As much as anything can be quick when we do it, I guess.
Yeah. And we picked a doozy to be our debut movie review.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
We're going to talk about a movie that has stirred up a little bit of controversy and
Imagine that.
a little bit of hate. Just a couple minutes ago, I didn't really read anything, but I kind of browsed through some of the reviews, what some of the websites were saying. At risk of sounding like a pig, pretty much any website that is ran by women, yeah, I think you know where I'm getting with this. Any website that's ran by women
Probably hates it.
hates it. They're bitching and moaning about how this movie portrays women as objects, and well,
but it does.
It does.
Because
So the movie,
because it's honest.
yes,
Because it's honest about what went on with, with these people during that time.
the movie is called The Dirt. It is a fairly real and honest and brutally honest adaptation of the book with the same title, written by four guys.
Yeah.
Nikki Sixx, Mick Mars, Vince Neil, and Tommy Lee, aka
Motley Crue.
So that was the segue into that. Motley Crue has always been known as one of the hardest partying, troublemaking assholes of 80s rock.
Yeah.
And they don't hide it.
No?
I have not read the book. I want to now.
Yeah,
Do
I. As do I, really.
I'm not a big reader.
I am.
And,
I like to read.
But the movie is very brutally honest. It is...
Yeah, it doesn't pull any punches.
So,
it really doesn't.
We're going to talk about it a little bit. There's going to be spoilers.
This is your spoiler warning. If you don't want spoilers, don't watch this video.
Yeah, if you have any interest in watching this video, and if you're a child of the 80s or listen to, big hair bands, you might want to watch this because it's interesting.
I think it's interesting.
However,
yeah,
you can't go more than 30 seconds without a swear word, so if that's a problem.
Yeah.
There's frontal nudity every
there's
90 seconds.
I was going to say, I don't think you get 30 seconds into the movie before you see a boob, so
Yeah.
there you go.
Sex.
Yeah, sex,
drugs,
and rock and roll.
Alcohol. But the thing that got me about the whole thing is none of it is glamorized.
No.
It is shown in a very raw light.
Yeah.
It shows the destruction.
It doesn't make it look good.
No.
It doesn't make it look good. It doesn't make it look glamorous. It doesn't make it look pretty. It's ugly and it's raw, and it's Motley Crue.
I think that's why the critics don't like it. It's too real.
Well,
movies aren't supposed to be real, and this one, as real as it can be, and they didn't even. That's what makes the book even more.
Yeah, now I really want to read the book
because the book's worse.
Yeah.
I've seen a couple passages and a couple stories that they tell about the book that is not in the movie.
Yeah, well, there's only so much you can put in a movie. Plus, I mean, it's an hour and 40 minutes or something like that. So, you have to take out the best bits from the book and put it in the movie. That's always the problem with an adaptation of a movie from a book. I'm glad that we saw the movie first, honestly.
Yeah.
But now I really would like to read the book and just see, because it's probably even more raw.
Oh, it is. Yeah, just from what I've seen, just little excerpts. So basically, once again, spoilers. We're not going to hold anything back here.
Lots and lots and lots of spoilers.
So
if you didn't turn away on the first spoiler warning,
this is your last warning.
This is your last spoiler warning, and we are responsible for nothing else from here on out.
The movie is kind of a unique movie. It's an origin to the end movie.
Yeah.
There's no part 2.
Yeah.
It shows the origin of Motley Crue. How they formed, how they met, how they got together, how they rose, how they fell, and how they rose again.
Yeah.
And they went out on top. I don't care what anybody says.
Oh, they did.
So
we had the privilege of actually going to one of their last concerts.
It was about their 5th or 6th to last concert. Before they finished in California.
Their final tour, and they came through, not far from us.
Yep.
And it was one of their last shows, and it was amazing.
So I mean, they were sober, they were clean.
Yeah, it was so incredible.
They were fat, out of shape. But hey, but yeah. Anyway, like I said, the movie starts with them getting together, forming the band. Not too long after, the drugs and the alcohol and the women pop up, and that's their career. I mean, it showed, I think Vince Neil, that's something he's never like talked about before this book, was losing his daughter. Mm-hmm. And that they were no holds barred on that.
Yeah. That was heart-wrenching.
Yeah.
That part of the movie is really heart-wrenching.
The car accident.
Mm-hmm.
Which was very heavily publicized.
Yeah.
The OD. I mean, anything bad that happened to Motley Crue in the last 30 years was in the movie. The worst parts of their lives were in this movie.
It showed the worst. And that's why it's so real, and that's why, Motley Crue, they had the reputation that they had, and it was well deserved. Mm-hmm. They were womanizers. They were just on something all the time.
Oh, so and $1,000 a day heroin
$1,000 a day in heroin that Nikki was shooting up. The whole portion from Tommy's point of view, where it said, you want to know what a day is like for me? This was like when they're at the height of their career, when they're out on tour.
There was about a 2-minute part of the movie where,
and it says, this is, and Tommy just says, this is my day. I wake up, I don't remember a damn thing. I'm high immediately. This is what I do, and go out and perform, and then and you're already smashed by the end of the performance, but then we do more, and there's more women, and there's more drugs, and then you finally crash out at 6, 7 in the morning
to wake up at 5 o'clock.
To wake up at 5 o'clock again and do it all over again and not remember a damn thing. And so it's funny. And that's one thing about this movie, is that it is hilarious.
Yeah,
I laughed
throughout
parts. The entire thing. So it's funny in the way that it's told, but it's still real. And when you're going through that, even though that section is funny, you're like, damn, dude.
Yeah.
Like, damn. There's literally not a minute of the day when these guys are like themselves and sober and but that's how it was. And so, yes, the movie, there's sex all over the place, and there's, they treated women like crap. They did. And, there's no denying that. But to portray it, you can't make a movie about Motley Crue and their career without showing that. And if you do, that's dishonest. And so, as much as you don't like to see it, that's what happened.
I think the movie is going to make a lot of people uncomfortable.
It absolutely makes you uncomfortable.
There were parts of it where I was like, damn.
It makes you uncomfortable.
I personally have dealt with drug and alcohol issues. and there were parts of it that made me uncomfortable. I was like, damn, you know?
Yeah.
I
It's an uncomfortable movie to watch. I mean, it was, you know, like I said, I posted, you know, after I watched it, I posted on Facebook that, you know, I would recommend it to watch. But I just said, you know, it's raunchy, it's dirty, it's funny, but it's raw. And it is. You know, I mean, it's Motley Crue. And to have tried to make, you can't make it any other way.
No.
Because to have tried to make it any other way, you can't actually tell the story.
So, yeah, I mean, basically, I mean, I don't know. It's hard to explain. Like I said, I would definitely recommend it to anybody that listened to the music and was, you know, that was a fan. And not just Motley Crue.
Yeah.
You know.
Any of that era.
Because
it was all pretty much the same. It was the same story with different.
Def Leppard wasn't
people.
any different. They had a reputation.
Poison
had a reputation. Bret Michaels was a freaking jackass. You know, all the frontmen were.
Yeah.
All of them were. The ones that have survived this long, you ask any of them, they, you know.
It's amazing.
A lot of them regret it, and they look back at it. And there's a part of the movie where the crew is on tour with Ozzy. And you remember, Ozzy, even back then in the 80s, he wasn't a young man.
No. And this was like their first big tour.
Yeah, and he flat out warned him.
Yeah.
He, you know, and I've actually heard that story before. But, yeah, he warned him. Take it easy.
Yeah.
And they just kind of laughed at him and...
Or it will tear you up and destroy you, and that's what it did.
It did.
That's what it did, because that's what, you know, and that's what that lifestyle will do to you. And so it's, you know, that's the thing that I appreciated about it. It told the story in a very real way, and it, even though, you know, those uncomfortable parts are in there, and it's not glamorized, and it's not made to seem like it was a good thing.
I don't think anybody's going to come out watching this movie thinking, hey, drugs are cool.
Right.
They're not.
No.
I mean, it's a very brutal movie.
Yeah.
It's very brutal.
Yeah.
And
it's pretty brutal, and you see, you know, there's a part where it shows Nikki's OD.
Yeah.
And in the ambulance, and they bring him back to life by stabbing him
twice with
adrenaline straight into his heart.
Yeah,
Sits up. Yeah, and he sits up, and there's 2 needles just sticking out of his chest, and then 30 seconds later, in the movie, you see him passed out with a needle sticking out of his arm.
Yep.
With blood running down his arm. That's not pretty.
No.
That's not pretty, that's not glamorous, but it's real.
I think like I said, the critics, that's right.
Okay.
The critics they're not going to like the movie because it's too gritty and it's too real.
It's very gritty.
I think the fans are going to like it. I think the fans are going to appreciate it. Mm-hmm. Because it is real. For the same exact reasons.
Yeah.
I think critics are out of touch with what entertainment should be. To me, entertainment is anything that touches me. Whether it makes me laugh, cry, think, say, oh crap. This movie made me do that.
Yeah, it made you do all of those. It made me do all of those.
I would, like I said, I can't recommend it more. I mean, if you're a sensitive person when it comes to swearing and nudity and drugs, don't watch it.
Do yourself
because you're not going to be able to handle it.
Do yourself a favor and don't watch it, because you won't like it. You'll hate it. You'll turn it off.
You'll
turn it off 2 minutes in if you make it that far.
Yep. And you'll be one of those people online bashing about the movie because it portrays women,
or because it has sex or whatever it is that you don't like. But
and that's not giving the movie
crying that it's pornography or some stupid shit like that, but it's not. It's
that's our opinions, and we might differ from them. We're not telling anybody your opinion is wrong, but to get the full scope of the movie, you can't go into it with that kind of an attitude.
I mean, the movie.
This is not just a movie about rockers, and it's not a mindless movie. It is
it's not a movie that's made up about, you know, a pretend band on a pretend journey, a pretend story. It's real. These are real people, and this is really what happened, and this was really their life. And you can't tell this story without.
But like any good movie, they come out on top.
Yeah.
It's got a happy ending.
Because in real life it did.
Yeah.
And that's unfortunately that's not always the case.
I mean, they still struggle. I mean, Mick Mars the most. There's nothing anybody can do to help Mick Mars.
Yeah.
It sucks. If you don't know, he's got a bone disease that solidifies his spine.
Yeah. The poor man can barely move, and he's in so much pain, and just the fact that he did what he did for so long, I'm in absolute awe of him. And remarkably enough, he was the one that was the most mellow.
Oh yeah.
When he had the most reason, he had, it would have been most logical for him to have had a massive drug addiction, but,
But anyway, those are our opinions of the movie. I know some of you are definitely going to disagree with us. You're going to call us idiots or whatever. That's fine.
That's fine.
It's just an opinion piece. If you do disagree with this, let us know. If you keep it civil, we will too.
Yeah.
Promise.
And if you, but don't come at us with, this movie sucks, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Because we won't even engage with that.
Nope.
Because that's stupid.
If you want to have a discussion about it.
If you want to have a discussion about it at points that, maybe you didn't like about the way they told the story. Yeah. Speaking of the way they told the story,
the narration was awesome. Yeah.
It was not at all told in a style that I was expecting. I was not expecting it at all. But it was really refreshing and very enjoyable. Mm-hmm. I really liked the way they told the story because there's so much, there's overriding narrative. There's, they're breaking the fourth wall all the time. It's really entertaining.
Well, you had
in that regard.
You had the guys narrate different parts of it.
Yeah.
The actual guys did voiceovers for parts of the movie.
Yeah. So it's very different than anything I've ever seen before in the style that it was told and the way they told the story. And I really enjoyed that.
And I really enjoyed that. That is one thing to go into the movie considering before you make a judgment. All four of the guys, they wrote the book together. All four of the guys are producers of the movie.
Yeah, they were involved in making it. So it was, they put their stamp of approval on it and felt that it portrayed their lives.
They definitely didn't portray them in any positive nature.
No.
And they still were part of the project.
Yeah.
And they still did this.
Well, it showed them for what they were at the time.
Yeah.
And, I think all of us, if we're honest, can look back at, our younger years and say, man, I regret that.
Stupid stuff, man.
We did some stupid stuff. I certainly can do it. I can look back on who I was, 15 years ago and go, man, I thought and did and, I wasn't that great of a person. And I made mistakes. And, and you own them and you learn from them and you move forward. And that's what Motley Crue did. Yep. And, that's what a lot of those guys did, thankfully, from that era. A lot of them finally wised up and got sober and,
an old 80s hairband rocker that has, the ones that have survived today, the ones that are cleaned up and living good because they're fat and they're out of shape. Most of them are. But that's what, that's what getting off of drugs and alcohol would do. It'd get you healthy. But anyway.
But yeah, the point that I was trying to make with that is you own it. And so you don't, because if you own it, then people can't try to use it against you.
Exactly. Because
if you own it and say, yeah, I did that and it was stupid or fucked up and I wasn't a very good person and I made horrible mistakes. And if you own that, then people can't use it against you. You own that and you tell your story and you say, yeah, this is what I did and these are the mistakes I made and this is what I learned from it. Now I'm going to tell you, so hopefully you don't make the same mistakes. Mm-hmm. And you can learn from it without having to actually go through it. And so that's kind of the narrative that this movie takes, I think. Because, I mean, that's probably a lot of the purpose for them writing the book. I'm sure writing that book was kind of cathartic for them.
They don't need the money. So.
No, they don't need the money for sure. So it was probably kind of a, this is what was going on behind the scenes in case you didn't know, which you probably did know because it was very publicized.
Oh, yeah.
It was very publicized. They had a reputation and they earned it. For good reason. So,
it's a definite recommendation from both of us if you want to know a little bit of the, the history. And it's entertainment. For me, it was entertainment. For some of you, it might not be.
I thought it was very entertaining.
I thought it was a good movie.
I really, really enjoyed it. Although, like we said, there were parts that make you uncomfortable because it's an uncomfortable story to tell. Yep. Uncomfortable things happen, and that's real life.
I think the movie's going to get buried. It won't survive. And that's a shame. But I
hope it does. I mean, I don't think Netflix really cares.
No.
What people think.
Have you seen half of the crap on Netflix?
Exactly. If people are watching it, they're going to watch it. So that's the greatest thing I think about this movie is that it's a Netflix original.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix.
It's going to stay there.
Netflix doesn't give a crap what other people think. So as long as, people are,
as long as it's getting a few views every once in a while, it'll stay there.
And I think because, and that's the hilarious thing to me about people who go on and make a big deal about movies so negatively like that is that all they're doing is stirring up publicity.
Oh, yeah.
It's going to make more people go, oh, I want to go watch that. And so they're actually going to have more people are going to watch it probably because of all the negative press it's getting, which I think is really hilarious.
I think if you're, again, for the last time I'll say it, if you're open-minded and have an adult view of things and are willing to have an adult view of things, you should watch the movie. If you're going to be a Sally Killjoy and go into the movie wanting to bitch about it, you're going to hate it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. If you're going to go in and only see, if you're going to go in and only see the nudity and the swearing and the portrayal of drugs and alcohol and that's all that you're going to see and that's all you care about, then just don't even bother.
Yeah. It's not, no, it's serious. It's not worth your time.
Stop wasting anybody's time.
It's, yeah.
You're not going to enjoy it, so just don't even.
Yeah. No, that's just being honest. Like I said, we're not ragging on anybody. We're just...
Yeah.
We're warning you.
You won't enjoy it.
Don't waste your time.
You really flat out will not enjoy it. You won't make it through the entire movie. You'll turn it off almost immediately. So probably just don't even start.
Yep. So.
Yep.
I enjoyed it. I recommend it. It was a great movie. My favorite band of all time, so I'm a little bit biased. But it was interesting seeing a movie about them. Mm-hmm. And one real. So.
Yeah.
That's my final word on it.
Yeah. I don't know. I enjoyed it. I would give it a solid 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I think that's fair. So there you go.
A solid 8 out of 10. A couple of the actors I was like, but a couple of the actors I thought were really good.
Yeah.
I thought the guy that they got for Nikki and the guy they got for Tommy were both really good. Mm-hmm. I liked the guy they got for Mick, but he was so short.
The Aussie was pretty good too, though.
The Aussie was not bad.
He was pretty damn good.
Yeah. I don't know who that was they got for Aussie, but...
He was pretty damn good.
He was pretty damn good.
So was David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't bad either. They both make kind of little cameo type appearances in the movie. They're not there for very long, but the actors that they got to do them
they did a good job.
They did a good job.
So, that is Lisa Hordie's first ever movie review. I don't know if we'll do any more.
We'll see.
we wanted to do this one because it was something that actually over time has impacted us. Mm-hmm. Anybody our age that listened to rock cannot say a Motley Crue did not impact you in some way or another, because they did. And that's what drew us to the movie in the first place. That's why we wanted to do this video. It actually did mean something to us.
Oh, yeah.
On a personal level.
Absolutely.
So, we might do more, we might not. Like I said, if you liked what we had to say, if you didn't like what we had to say, make comments down below. We will respond to every single one of them that we can.
That's worth it.
That's worth it.
Like I said, you just come on here and make a little movie suck. You're stupid.
I'll delete you, and that'll be the end of it.
But if you have thoughtful insights and things to say.
Now, if you say that movie sucked because, maybe we'll actually talk about it.
Maybe. If it's an even semi-valid reason, then we'll engage on that.
So yeah, so we're gonna cut this off now before we ramble on too much longer. We hope you enjoyed it. Hope you at least enjoyed us talking. Maybe not about the content, but hey, it is what it is.
It is what it is.
If you have any other ideas of stuff that we should review, or talk
if you
about,
want us to see it, if you want to see us do any other movie reviews or video reviews or anything, if we haven't seen the movie, we'll do our best to see it. There's several movies that I would review and talk about, but he hasn't seen them, so.
So anyway, that is it for us on this one. Remember to catch us on our Facebook page, our YouTube channel, our Twitch channel, Twitter, everything else. We So Hordie. Look us up. We're easy to find.
We are.
Hopefully we see you guys around. And until we talk again, be cool to one another.
Bye.